Lagos State University LASU graduate identified as Adija has been found dead in her boyfriend's apartment in Meiran, Lagos. Her boyfriend, whose name has not been released, has absconded. The incident occurred on February 26 after Adija visited her boyfriend at his request. According to an Instagram user, Eye Opener, Adija's family became concerned when she did not answer her phone calls. Upon checking her boyfriend's apartment, they found the door locked and forced their way in, discovering Adija's lifeless body. Further reports revealed that the couple had a toxic relationship since Adija's undergraduate days. Neighbors reported hearing arguments from the apartment on Wednesday night, but did not intervene as such occurrences were frequent. Adija's family declined to comment immediately, stating they would address the press later. A close relative, Tosin, disclosed that Adija's mother was a single parent who had raised her children alone. Tosin also mentioned that the boyfriend had reportedly called Adija's mother, saying he was ready to die. Lagos State Police Command spokesperson Benjamin Hundeyin confirmed the incident and stated that efforts are underway to apprehend the suspect. This incident follows a similar case in Ogun State where a man, Oju, allegedly stabbed his wife, Josephine Isaac, to death during a domestic dispute. The Ogun State Police Command has launched a manhunt for Oju. Mr. Handover, well, this is just another case of abuse, another case of domestic violence, as it were. What are your thoughts on this report?
From the story itself, I see misunderstanding. I see people who are not one. I see people who are just there. They don't understand the reason why they are together. Because if you look at the issue of domestic violence that is occurring almost every day in our society today, I see it as a result of not reaching out to what was the agreement initially, what they were known for. There's a breach in understanding. There's a breach in their way of doing things. Because like that was the first one talked about during the university days, the relationship has been toxic. Can you be in a relationship that is toxic, that every little thing you result to violence, and tomorrow you settle? Today, for instance, I've seen a family where whenever there's a sharp, whenever they have dispute between the both, whenever there's a sharp conflict among them, the whole thing, all the electronic and everything, those ones will be sacrificed for that conflict. The next day, after many months, they would fix it again, and they settle and go out again. That kind of family, there's every tendency that they will not last long, irrespective of how they try. Because the temperament, this anger, is, whenever there's a challenge, the anger will rise to a tempo where nobody can undo it. It's a red flag in any relationship.
Thank you so much. Mr. Awabugo, he indicated it is a red flag. Why do you think domestic violence, actually in February, 1,789 cases of domestic violence was reported in February. Now, note reported, because not everybody reports. Now, when you look at that salient report as regards these red flags that Mr. Handover rightly mentioned, what are your thoughts on it and the progress of relationships in recent times?
Well, first and foremost, we need to acknowledge that this is not worthy enough to be called domestic violence, because the news says it's a boyfriend. So maybe that means they were not married. So the kind of life you live will determine how you end this life.
Okay.
So if you are well brought up, if you have a good sound upbringing, and you do your things clear and plain, there are some things that cannot happen to you. So that's how life is. So if that girl had lived a better life, if she had associated with good people, I don't think she would be killed or she would die.
When you say associated with good people, what does it mean?
You know, when you are going out with somebody, you should be able to know the kind of person the person is, and where you find yourself, where you usually go, will also determine the kind of people you meet. So this boy, the killer himself, you know, maybe he was a drug addict, or maybe let's call him a violent person. So that kind of person, the girl shouldn't have got herself involved with him. So we have to blame her upbringing. You can see that the mother is
Single
a
mother.
single mother. Maybe anybody, there's no woman or man that will allow her daughter to be sleeping in a boyfriend's house for this. So you have to train your child well, so that the child should know how to behave.
Are you shifting the blame that all of this is the victim's fault and is the mother's fault?
Yes,
The report writer said the girl was in Lagos State University. I mean, she was a student in
she
school.
was a student.
And you know that most students do stay on campus in universities. Most students don't even go
Now,
back home till it's holidays.
yes.
Right.
Now, yes. Many students sleep in, or they leave their hostels. They live wherever they are living to go and sleep there, to go and travel, to far places without their parents' knowledge. I'm saying that anybody that has good upbringing, that has fear of God, will not. There are some things that cannot happen to you. So that girl herself, she killed herself with the kind of life she lived, because you shouldn't leave wherever your parents have put you to stay, and go and be visiting a boyfriend.
So because people
Living
visit
with
their
somebody.
boyfriends, it's okay for them to be killed.
No, I'm not saying that's not what I said.
Okay.
You know, and you're spending time there, even though you know that this person is not, your safety is not guaranteed around the person. So we don't need to, when you blame the killer, you blame the victim.
Victims are never to be blamed for being killed.
Yeah, you also blame the victim. If somebody walks into death, the person should be blamed.
Thank you so much. Mr. Handover.
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Ndubisi said that the victim should be blamed for walking into death. In recent times, when people get into relationships, well, it's been there for a while. I think in the olden days, back then, when you watch these old movies, you find out that a girl might like a boy and she decides when she goes over to the family house. Sometimes she helps them clean and mop. There's never been a restriction as regards, hold on please. Yeah. There's never been a restriction as opposed people intending to progress in a relationship, visiting each other. Now, say for the fact that this report did mention that they've always had their disputes, the first thing is, the man told her, okay, come and visit me. Now, I'm not bordering on the fact that whether she chose to sleep there. The fact is that she went to visit. Right. Do you think now, given the way it is, and from where I'm pointing out from the back in the day, going over to family house and all of that, do you think this incident as it were can happen to anybody, or it is just as a result of poor upbringing?
Yeah, I would say poor upbringing. That's my opinion actually. And I will also say that in olden days, when you have some family, if a man indicates interest in someone's family, I want to marry your child, that has been, an interest has been indicated. When that child is visiting, the parents observe if he stays too much, because there has not been, even though interest has been indicated, I want to marry your child, but they have not been officially, the process has not begun.
Formalized,
so
yes.
They see as friends that even going to sleep there, sometimes you sneak to go and do that. It's not like the parents are fully aware of this child, because this person has said he wants to marry her. They have given that child full right. No, they don't do that. Secondly, for you to enter into any relationship, anybody who loves you, that truly loves you, thinks about your good. If you're in a relationship where somebody is always battling you, every time he's raising hand, he can carry match because he's angry, no matter how confessed he wants to pretend that he loves you when he's okay, that person never loves you. Because you cannot hurt what you love. You can never do it. So she herself should have observed first month, second month, 3 months, the 4 years of your university days, a man has been violent on you, putting you, wash on you, never allowed to have your personal opinion. Maybe this matter, maybe at the cause of their sharp dispute, she must have said something that provokes him. And he must have said, okay, the only way I will revenge you is through this. Inviting her to his house. And suddenly, death occur. And so you look at it that this thing has been planned before now.
Right.
And somebody who loves you would never plan
Thank
to hurt
you so much. One more before we move to our next report, Mr. Awambugo. Now, Mr. Handover said someone who loves you will not invite you and carry out such an evil act. Why do you think this has become on the rise? Like every other week, almost every day, there is someone that has been killed for visiting a partner, for living with a partner. Husband and wives are killing each other. Why do you think this has become on the rise?
Well, you know, in our modern society, a lot of things are happening. People are having a lot of depression. People are taking drugs. People are becoming emancipated, talking about women, and so many other things. So I think one of the things that are causing all these things is people's level of anger, the state of mind.
But why do you think people are so angry? Why are people so angry?
So, maybe somebody is going through depression, or somebody has an unstable state of mind due to social problems, due to family issues, all those things. So anything can happen. Somebody can react and overreact, and something happens, and he kills somebody. And when he kills, as soon as he kills the person, everything clears from his eyes. So that's one. And another thing is, you know that nowadays in relationship, women are trying to prove a point, and they are angering some men. Many men are not comfortable with how women are now trying to make their own voices stand, and anything can arise from there. I think that if you look at domestic violence that's happening, it is the inability of the couple to agree, to believe that this thing or that thing can stand. At the end of the day, something happens. If you don't control yourself, if you are not in control of your temperament, anything can happen. And when something happens, the person gets himself or herself. So that's and finally, the kind of society we have. And the society is bad right now. People are not happy. So nobody should come and now maybe you go out and face insult and difficulty. Your landlord, your worker, your employer has not paid you, this and that. The economy is bad. There is hyperinflation. There is devaluation of Meiran, all these things, and you have a lot of responsibilities. So when you come back, instead of having peace, something tries to add to your headache. Anything can happen from there. So these are the reasons why, including other things we can mention, why we are having all these domestic violence and deaths occurring here and there. Almost every time we come here, I think we are talking about somebody that has been killed somewhere. Right. Misunderstanding, this and that.
So why do you think people? Why? What are your choices regards people not applying good conflict resolution to resolving their issues, as opposed to thinking that the best way to resolve it is to pick up the knife or, you know, beat somebody up and all of that? Why do you think we have tilted towards violence more than, you know, we are tilting towards civil conversations?
You know, when it depends on the person you want to dialogue with. If the person is someone that is ready to learn or ready to listen to you, you like to call for dialogue, for conversation. But if the person is not someone that can listen, you always want to look for an alternative.
Alternative
Maybe you want to either decide to ignore the person or want to.
So why is that
try
not a
your
first call of action as opposed to killing somebody?
So, it depends on you. It's not everybody that can control a situation. Some people have emotional intelligence.